Ever wonder what blockchain is all about? You hear the term everywhere from finance to art, but it can sound pretty complex. Don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of what it is, how it works, and why it's changing the world. So let's start with the basics. At its heart, blockchain is a special type of database, but instead of being stored in one single location, it's a distributed ledger. Imagine a shared digital notebook that everyone in a network has a copy of. When someone adds a new entry, that entry is copied and sent to everyone's notebook. This means no single person or company owns it. Everyone has the same information. It's like a public record book that's shared among many computers. Now, how does this chain of blocks actually work? Let's break it down. First, we have the blocks. Think of a block as a page in our digital notebook. Each block contains a list of transactions, like records of who sent what to whom. It also has some technical data, like a timestamp and a unique code called a hash, which acts like a digital fingerprint for the block. To create this hash, computers on the network solve a complex puzzle. The solution to this puzzle is called a nonce. Once the puzzle is solved, the block is considered complete and verified. Next, we have the chain. This is where things get really clever. Each new block doesn't just contain its own information. It also includes the digital fingerprint, or hash, of the block that came before it. This is what links them together, creating a chronological chain. Block 1 is linked to block 2, which is linked to block 3, and so on. This sequential linking is what makes the blockchain so secure. If someone tried to change the data in an old block, its digital fingerprint would change. This would break the link to the next block, and the entire chain after that point would become invalid. The rest of the network would immediately spot the discrepancy and reject the tampered block. So who are the keepers of this distributed notebook? They're called nodes. A node is simply a computer connected to the blockchain network. These nodes are the backbone of the system. They all hold a full copy of the entire blockchain. When a new transaction happens, it's broadcast to all the nodes. These nodes then work to validate the transaction, bundle it into a new block, and add that block to their copy of the chain. This distributed nature is key, because thousands of nodes all over the world have a copy. The system is incredibly resilient. If one computer goes offline, the network keeps running without a problem. But how do all these different computers agree on what's true? How do they all agree on which block to add next? This is managed through something called a consensus mechanism. It's like a voting system for the network. The most famous one is called proof of work, which is used by Bitcoin. In proof of work, nodes, often called miners, compete to solve that complex mathematical puzzle I mentioned earlier. The first one to solve it gets to add the next block to the chain and is usually rewarded for their effort. This process requires significant computing power, which helps secure the network by making it expensive and difficult for anyone to attack. By requiring this work, the network ensures that all participants agree on the current state of the ledger. Now that we understand how it works, let's look at the core principles that make blockchain so revolutionary. First is decentralization. This is probably the most important feature. Traditional systems like banks are centralized. There's a single authority and control, the bank itself. But with blockchain, there's no single point of control. Power is distributed across all the participants in the network. This eliminates the need for a middleman, which can reduce fees and speed up processes. No single entity can shut it down or manipulate the data for their own benefit. The second key component is transparency. While the identities of participants can be anonymous, the transactions themselves are typically public. Anyone on the network can view the entire history of transactions on the blockchain. For example, on the Bitcoin blockchain, you can see every transaction that has ever occurred since its creation. This level of transparency can bring unprecedented accountability to industries like supply chain management, where you could track a product from its origin all the way to the store shelf. And third, we have security, or what's often called immutability. This means that once data is recorded on the blockchain, it cannot be altered or deleted. As we discussed, because each block is cryptographically linked to the one before it. Changing a single block would require changing every subsequent block on the chain across the majority of the network's computers. This is practically impossible, making blockchain an incredibly secure way to store information. It's like writing something down in permanent ink that can't be erased. So, What are the real-world benefits of this technology? There are quite a few. One of the biggest is cost savings. By removing intermediaries like banks or brokers, blockchain can make transactions cheaper and more efficient. It also offers improved transparency, which helps build trust in systems. Think about voting systems, charitable donations, or tracking food safety. Blockchain can provide a verifiable and transparent record. And of course, the enhanced security makes it ideal for managing sensitive data, from financial records to medical histories. However, blockchain isn't a magic solution for everything. It comes with its own set of challenges. One of the main ones is scalability. Some popular blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum can only process a limited number of transactions per second. This can lead to slow confirmation times and high fees, especially when the network is busy. Developers are working on solutions, but it's still a significant hurdle. Another challenge is regulatory uncertainty. Because the technology is so new and disruptive, governments and regulators around the world are still trying to figure out how to handle it. The rules can change quickly and vary from country to country, which can create risk for businesses and investors looking to adopt the technology. There are also environmental concerns related to the energy consumption of proof-of-work mining, although newer, more energy-efficient consensus mechanisms are gaining traction. To sum it up, blockchain is a decentralized, transparent, and secure distributed ledger technology. It works by linking blocks of transactions together in a chain which is maintained by a network of computers. Its core features offer incredible benefits like cost savings and enhanced security, but it also faces challenges like scalability and regulation. It's a powerful technology with the potential to reshape many industries, but it's still in its early days. Understanding the fundamentals is the first step to appreciating its impact. I hope this explanation has helped demystify blockchain for you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the technologies shaping our future. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.